Ever wondered what it's like to be the bullseye in a battlefield? Locked inside a metal beast, you're surrounded by hundreds of pounds of explosives and fuel. One hit in the wrong place, and everything could go up in flames. This was the haunting reality for countless tank operators during World War II. Trapped in unbearable conditions, with enemies outside and the threat of fire within, they faced unimaginable horrors daily. The saying goes, tanks are designed to kill, and they don't care who gets hurt. In this video, we dive deep into the chilling experiences of these brave souls and uncover the terrifying truths and grim realities of life inside a war tank. Tanks were a formidable sight in both World War I and World War II. Deployed in some of the harshest environments, from the frigid Russian winters to the scorching deserts. While these armored giants provided crucial support in battles, their crews faced unimaginable dangers and hardships. Beneath their powerful exterior lies a much darker reality. Tanks, designed to be indestructible, came with significant flaws and risks for those operating them. Communication was nearly impossible due to the deafening roar of the engines, which were not isolated from the crew compartments. Despite these challenges, tanks played a pivotal role in breaking through enemy lines, especially during World War I. However, it was during World War II that tanks truly evolved, witnessing extensive use and some of the most significant tank battles in history. The conditions inside these metal beasts were nothing short of horrifying, with crews constantly at risk from both the enemy and the very machines meant to protect them. The crews of these lethal machines faced harrowing conditions that tested their limits every single day. Fire was the most terrifying threat tankers faced. Surrounded by fuel and ammunition in a confined space, the thought of a spark turning everything into an inferno was horrifying. For tank crews, a hit often meant fatal injuries for some members, and the fear of being trapped was constant. One American soldier recounted an incident where an anti-tank cannon hit their tank. The shell instantly killed the tank commander and gunner. As the loader, he was trapped by the bodies of his fallen comrades. The flames spread quickly, and he managed to crawl under the gun, throw open the driver's seat door, and escape moments before the tank exploded. Another chilling story comes from a British soldier on the African front. A nearby tank was hit and immediately caught fire. Over the radio, which all the other tanks could hear, came the desperate plea, "Help me, please help me." The friendly tank crew, unable to assist, fired 2 more shells into the burning tank to end their comrades' suffering. The plea fell silent after the second hit. For many tank crews, these moments of sheer terror were not rare occurrences, but part of their daily reality. The risk of fire was ever present, exacerbated by the fact that the tanks were stocked with highly flammable materials. The noise inside the tank was deafening, making communication nearly impossible and adding to the sense of isolation and fear. The evolution of tanks brought with it an equally intense development in tactics and strategies to disable and destroy them. Early counter-tank methods included using anti-tank weapons with larger, more powerful caliber ammunition capable of piercing armor and killing the crew inside. When a bullet breached the armor, it could ricochet inside, unleashing ammunition or fuel, creating a deadly scenario. To combat this threat, tanks received reinforced and thicker armor, and new anti-tank weapons were developed. Infantry also employed various techniques such as shaped charges, Molotov cocktails, and magnetic mines. Interestingly, Molotov cocktails were particularly effective at first. The rapid production of tanks sometimes overlooked the proper fitting of armor plates, allowing the flammable mixture from a simple glass bottle to seep into the tank's interior through gaps, igniting the crew and ammunition. Without infantry support, tanks were vulnerable targets as enemy soldiers needed to get dangerously close to use these weapons effectively. The improved armor often compromised visibility. The crew relied heavily on the commander, who typically kept his head out of the hatch to maintain awareness. Narrow periscopes, which often fogged up or became dirty, were the only other means of seeing outside. Enemies exploited these blind spots, getting close enough to deliver fatal blows, or even climb onto the tank and drop bombs inside. The force of bullets hitting the tank's exterior could cause metal splinters to fly at high speeds towards the crew, sometimes causing fatal injuries even without penetrating the armor. This made every impact potentially disastrous, highlighting the extreme dangers tank crews faced. The gasoline engine was a significant problem for many American Sherman tanks during World War II. These engines, including kerosene-powered aircraft engines, were highly combustible compared to diesel. This made them particularly vulnerable, and the Germans gave these tanks ominous nicknames inspired by well-known lighters that were advertised as always lighting on the first attempt. The American M3 Lee tank was also known as the Six Brothers' Grave due to its large size and vulnerability, often being outclassed by newer German tanks. The Germans developed anti-tank tactics that included using larger caliber ammunition capable of penetrating armor and causing internal fires. These tactics significantly increased the lethality of their attacks. Additionally, the Germans had anti-tank shells designed to ignite inside the tank after piercing the armor, further increasing the risk to the crew. They also created infantry rocket systems, such as bazookas, Panzerfausts, and modern RPGs. These weapons allowed a single soldier to ambush or destroy a tank with relative ease. This development meant that tank crews had to be incredibly vigilant, always prepared for threats like mines, anti-tank trenches, and barricades. Operating in such dangerous conditions required constant alertness and readiness for any eventuality, highlighting the extreme challenges faced by tank crews during World War II. Tank crews knew their lives depended on their ability to swiftly exit their metal fortresses in case of an emergency. They regularly practiced emergency exit drills to improve their chances of survival if their tank was hit. However, these drills couldn't fully prepare them for the real chaos of a battlefield. The actual evacuation was fraught with danger. As soon as they attempted to exit, enemy infantry often attacked, taking advantage of the vulnerable moment. Flames from damaged fuel and ammunition spread quickly, and the crew had to deal with injuries, fatalities, and potential entrapment. Even without the immediate threat of enemy fire, the tank itself posed significant risks. The close proximity of weapons, ammunition, and fuel in the confined space created a deadly environment. Once outside, the crew was no longer protected by the tank's armor. They became easy targets, often greeted with gunfire the moment they emerged. Finding their way back to friendly lines was a daunting task. In the chaos of battle, they were lightly armed and unprotected, making their journey to safety perilous. The combination of external threats and the inherent dangers within the tank underscored the extreme challenges faced by tank crews. Tank crew members faced numerous dangers from the very equipment they operated. During turret rotations, strong hydraulic pumps could crush sections of their bodies if they got in the way. The absence of a rotating basket meant injuries were frequent. For instance, a loader might stretch out his leg just as the tank commander turned the turret, resulting in a fractured femur. Hydraulic pumps also posed risks, with tendencies to overheat and burst, splattering hot oil on the crew. Internal explosions from ammunition or gun failures could completely destroy the tank and its occupants. Furthermore, vapors, engine gases, and discharged ammunition created a toxic environment inside the tank, impairing visibility and breathing. During World War II, American Sherman Firefly gunners were often hit by sparks and gases whenever the cannon fired, leading to burned eyelashes and eyebrows. They were instructed to close their eyes during firing to avoid injury. These hazards underscore the perilous conditions tank crews had to endure. In the harsh conditions of Africa, tank crews faced extreme temperatures that caused them to literally fry eggs on the hull of their tanks. Without any way to control the temperature, and with air conditioning being a rare luxury even today, the metal walls of tanks were either scorching hot or freezing cold. In winter, skin would stick to the cold metal, and the only way to warm up was with gasoline pumps, which provided only limited relief. During combat, crews often couldn't leave their tanks, spending extended periods inside the cramped, confined space. They had to perform all their personal needs, from sleeping to eating to using the restroom, in these small quarters, leading to a buildup of foul odors. Commanders who stayed inside the tank with their heads out to observe the battlefield faced significant risks. It's said that it's more perilous to watch what you can't see than to look out, highlighting the psychological strain they endured. They had to maintain constant communication with their command, other tanks, and battlefield participants, adding to the mental toll of their duties. In recent years, the defense against tanks has become increasingly challenging due to modern systems, rockets, mines, drones, and advanced ammunition. With improvements in range, precision, target recognition, cannon stabilization, and the ability to fire more powerful ammunition, tanks have become even more formidable threats. Human technology has evolved incredibly, both to destroy and to protect. As we continue to advance our technologies, one must wonder, will tanks eventually be rendered obsolete on the modern battlefield? And do you have the courage to face the darkest aspects of human conflict, as so many did in history's greatest battles? If you found this topic intriguing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into the complexities of warfare. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think tanks will continue to dominate the battlefield, or will new technologies take their place?